Hello, hello. Testing, testing. We are testing. Um, hmm. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's here or not. I am doing a test live stream, just trying to get my equipment set up correctly. I soon, at some point, I intend on reacting to a video by Sheep in the Box called Anarcho-Capitalism is a Garbage Ideology, and Here's Why. I'm going to be going through and debunking this video or commenting on it, seeing what I have to say with it. But I'm just going to test stream here to see, how the audio sounds, if I can, actually hear this guy's video and whatnot, and like you guys can hear me, if anyone is, here and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm just going to go and yeah, see what this video looks like and whatnot. I've
Ago,
watched
I
a few
released a
minutes of it.
video called Centrism is a Garbage Ideology and Here's Why, in
It
which
is.
I outlined my personal issues with centrists and their ideology and the ways in which it can be harmful. As expected,
All right, cool. Oh, hello, the Sea-Man. How's it going, man? Cool that you're in the stream. I'm not really sure how long I'm gonna be here for, but glad you think it sounds good. That's great. Could you hear the YouTube video as well? I hope you can, yeah,
did this really
this video. Hope you can hear that because that would be pretty important. Yeah, I was recommended this video in a comment. Someone told me that I'm not sure if any ANCAPs have looked at this video yet, but they told me that they've been waiting for a refutation of this video for a long time. And I thought, I don't know if any refutations exist, but it seems like 49 minutes long. There's probably a lot of pretty juicy stuff. I'm pretty sure will be misinterpreted many times. I'm pretty sure this guy will probably have no idea what anarcho-capitalism is, but that's all well and good. We can go and educate him at some later point. Um, Maybe tomorrow. I'm thinking I might do the stream tomorrow. So, if you want to tune in tomorrow, Seaman, that would be pretty cool. Oh, what's up, Turgate? That's your Project ANCAP, right? Oh, I'm getting a warning. Oh yeah, by the way, this is just a test stream, my man. This is just I'm not really I'm not sure how long I'll be here for. I'm just seeing if anyone tunes in, just seeing to make sure everyone can like hear my audio and whatnot, because I intend on reacting to this video at some later point. In fact, maybe I'll go through it a little bit today. We'll see what I'm feeling like. Tomorrow we are all okay, Raptionis. Thanks, man. Yeah, I guess tomorrow. What do you guys think? We have three people here right now. What do you guys think about tomorrow? Are you guys what time zone are you guys? Because you can probably tell I'm very American. So it's pretty late for me right now, but maybe you guys are European. Um I do have some things to do tomorrow, but you know, past a certain time, I think I'm pretty free to go do a pretty long stream. I mean, this is oh cool. Yeah, cool. I don't know how to like do I intend on like posting the VOD of this at some point. Okay, everyone's EST. That's great. I'm EST as well. I intend on posting a VOD of this, but I don't know how to do like Discord calls or anything. But maybe at some point, I have a lot of YouTube videos I want to do, a lot of reactions. So if you guys want to hop in and react to videos with me at some point, that might be a good idea. Get more people's eyes on this ANCAP stuff. MST, I'm not exactly sure where that is from, but it's all well and good. All right, yeah, so if we have a couple EST people here. So I guess I'll maybe tomorrow at around like 8 p.m. or something, 7 p.m., we'll see, something like that. I'll go and I don't know, this is 49 minutes. I mean, this kind of stuff normally takes a while to get through. I mean, it's normally like you just this guy's oh, middle. Okay, cool. This guy's some sort of like anarcho-communist. So, I mean, you guys know. what that means. He's gonna be a retard. He's not gonna know anything. And so pretty much every 5 seconds we're gonna have to correct him and be like, "Oh no, you're actually retarded. You're completely wrong about everything." But I think that's all. I think that's great, So I like going in and, really showing how little these people know and really showing just, how much these people just misrepresent our views and how little they like actually understand what we're saying. Like I watched the first like 3 minutes of this video and so far it's the standard shit, but we'll see if he actually makes any arguments, or if he's just kind of gonna be waffling the whole video and like, oh, they're so ANCAPs are so ridiculous. I hate ANCAPs so much, but hopefully hopefully he makes some actual points and we actually have to sit down and think about some arguments. But we regularly spend 10-to-1 ratio and oh yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I watched the last Liquid Zulu react. Um was it 6 hours? And 6 hours to a 1 hour video or something like that. Does he do the anarchy? Yeah, it seems like it, because he says anarcho-capitalism's a oxymoron, which is like people who say that are typically no hierarchy people or like no rulers people, but their definition of rulers is just like whenever someone is in a relationship where one person has like a little bit more quote unquote power or whatever that vaguely defined term is supposed to mean. That's like their definition of ruler. So it's essentially just like this impossible standard where it's like no hierarchies literally means like no social interactions because any social interaction is like two people are not perfectly equal. Like if you really break it down and get technical with it, it's like it's literally impossible to have an equal social interaction because like you can't occupy the same space and you don't have like the same brain. So it's like it's literally impossible to have any social interactions like by their standards. Um, so that's why it's like I think we really need to push back on their ridiculous definition of like rulers and like I think something to highlight is like what is a ruler? Like what does it mean to be ruling over someone? Like if I go to a hot dog vendor and like buy a hot dog, is like the hot dog guy like ruling over me? Like no, of course not. Right? It's like a ruler is specific. Oh, what's up, nostalgic Sky? How's it going? This is just a test live stream. Probably not going to do too much today, but just testing the equipment. Tell me if the audio sounds all right. But um, I was saying, like a ruler, it's like it's not just a voluntary trade where two people like one person has like 0.2% more intellect than the other person or 10 more dollars in their bank account. Like it's specifically like an aggressive interaction. It's an interaction where one person is exerting some sort of aggressive control over the other person's resources. Like a king rules over his subjects because he's permitting them committing aggressions against them, and permitting them from doing certain things like starting their businesses, or he's like collecting taxes from them or something like that, right? He's suppressing them. It's not just this like vaguely defined, like one person has like slightly more social mobility or something. That's not what a ruler is. It's specifically this like aggressive relationship. And it's like once you take that into consideration, it's like if a ruler really does have something intimately related with aggression, then anarchy really does need to mean anarcho-capitalism because it would mean no rulers, which would be no aggression. So I think those are the points we need to be hitting in on. All right, peace out, nostalgic Sky. Have a nice night, everybody. King Critical somehow found out 1.5 hour reset, clip list in 112 minute, incredibly out of context. Oh, that's the guy who he does all the stuff about transgender people, right? I like watched like a little bit of one of his videos. It was kind of boring, but I mean it is kind of probably pretty correct for the most part. Um yeah, that's like that's unfortunate. That's ridiculous. He just clipped you and then took you out of context. Anything that can be clipped. Yeah, put infographics and citations. Yeah, I mean I don't know how active this sheep guy is. Like let's see, does he make any videos like still, or is he just like completely dead. Now, he hasn't made videos in a while. I doubt this guy would like clip me out of context. He's not like, super doesn't seem to be super into it anymore, but yeah, it's definitely true that you don't want to be like clipped out of context. Does he do anything else besides the trans videos though? Or is it like just that? I mean, that's all I've ever seen from him. Does he have like any unique opinions besides like, I don't know, trans people are cringe? It's like, I mean, I don't know, it's not really revolutionary stuff. But yeah, no, definitely got to be careful with being clipped out of context. What did they get you on? Did they say like he did three anti-libertarians videos? Like anti-libertarian I can probably see King Critical. Let's see what he has released. Um I'm not sure specifically which one of these might be about libertarianism. Oh, okay, libertarian. My problem with libertarian is this the video he took you out of context on, this specific video? I guarantee that's probably got to be it. Mid bad videos besides it. He has okay, Redditoid left. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm just kind of looking at him and he just kind of looks like he has those kinds of opinions. I mean, I don't know. It's probably not nice to say, but I mean, tell me I'm wrong. I mean, look at this guy. Video about why he's not an atheist. Huh. Proceed. I see. I remember he had like a discussion with like Liquid Zulu, and he actually seemed like a decent guy. I mean, he did kind of seem like he was like some sort of environmentalist where he was like really caring about the environment. Like one of the big concerns he had about ANCAP was like, what would they do about the national parks or something like that. But it's like, I mean, I kind of get like some concern for that, so I gave him a little bit of slack. But if he's like reposts CCP shit, then I mean, I guess he could go fuck himself. I mean, that's that's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, like every status does indeed. Um, I don't think it's really possible to make an argument about the state being good without making an argument about slavery being good. I mean, it's really the same thing. It's a synonym. Oh, like an actually pro like slavery good argument? Like, do you mean like slavery in the sense of like forced labor camps or something like for the collective good or something like that? Like like a communist kind of would approach that, or I'm not sure. I'm actually maybe I'll watch this video though. It's only it's 30 minutes long. I probably won't respond to it or anything. I don't want to be yeah wasting my time with a Mentis Wave video. His video on mutual aid is actually pretty decent too. I mean, like what the fuck is he even talking about? I mean, Mentis Wave is like for all of his shortcomings, he has his his sources straight. I mean, from mutual aid to the welfare state. I haven't read it, but from what I can tell, I mean, it has a lot of really great arguments in our favor. Forced labor, okay, that's what I'm at on EST. I intend on streaming sometime around 7 or 8 EST tomorrow. So that's the plan. Uh yeah, I mean this Mentis Wave video, I remember it's pretty good and so I don't like wasting my time with it. Gee, I mean I honestly oh, he has another anti-libertarianism video. Libertarianism is inhumane. Let me guess, it's going to be a Coconut Island video. People aren't going to pay. Okay, in the mutual aid video, he whines about people aren't going to pay for the people that nobody wants to pay for without wondering what. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing I'm about to say isn't like a unique ANCAP argument, but it is something that pisses me off a lot. And I'm sure you guys will probably agree with me. Here, it's like you always hear people talking about when you're talking about ANCAP, they're like, what about the people who slip through the cracks? And they see this as like a weakness in ANCAP. But no, 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 they have the wrong framing. It's actually a strength of ANCAP that some people slip through the cracks. Because who are the people slipping through the cracks? Right? The people slipping through through the cracks are specifically the non-productive, like parasite, like just lazy, non-productive people that just don't do anything. They don't bring anything to society. They just waste everyone's time. Those are the people who slip through the cracks under ANCAP, and I'm glad they do because they're essentially just removing themselves from society. Right? Anyone who wants to be productive and non-aggressive, they'll do great in an ANCAP society. They'll do great. Like they will have the most amazing time of their lives. But this idea of like some people slipping through the cracks, it's like good. I want those people who do slip through the cracks. I want them out of my society. Um, he called us in because we call taxation theft. That's why we're inhumane. That is that is really great criticism. 18 minutes of just peak criticism. Jesus. That is like these statists really like they're geniuses. They're brilliant. He doesn't understand the concept of Costco samples and equates that with taxation. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about with Costco samples and equating that with taxation, but I mean I'm not exactly. Yeah, if you want to elaborate on that maybe. Yeah, but like I was saying with the slipping through the cracks thing, it's like if you want to call me like inhumane for not caring about people who are just lazy, non-productive bums, it's like you can do that, but when we have an ANCAP society and all of these people are kicked out from it and they slip through the cracks and we're all having a great time because of it, I'm gonna be laughing and you're gonna be like trying to give away all of your fucking possessions like an altruist to these people because you have fundamentally the wrong philosophy. It's like we're gonna be laughing about all of this, and you're gonna be having a horrible time trying to like uplift these like non-productive people. Okay, that's not why. He goes on a pedantic whiny rant about nobody thinks healthcare is free. No, some people are absolutely that. Oh, okay, that's not exactly what I would have expected, but yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's like definitely some of these like you know, really like retard propagandized liberal types are like they want to have their cake and eat it too. Like if you ask them like, do you want to make healthcare free? And then do you want to have like no taxes? They're gonna like vote yes. Like if a candidate came up and said like we're gonna abolish all of your taxes and make healthcare free, they're gonna vote for you. Like or they're gonna vote for that candidate because they're retarded. Like they actually genuinely just believe that like politicians can materialize things they want by signing something with a pen. Um, Centrally planned economies are more efficient than free markets. Okay, I don't even need to respond to that. The state would monopolize everything so that we don't need advertisements. Oh, the muh advertisements argument. Advertisements are just so bad. It's just, and let's just let's just like look at communist China streets. Like maybe hopefully I find like what do you see when you look at like a communist China street? Look at this. You just see a bunch of like communist signs. Like you just see a bunch of communist flags. Um, because you still have advertisements. You just have advertisements for the regime. Like you just have like communist like propaganda filling the place of advertisements. So it's like I would much rather have an advertisement for like McDonald's, which is ironically in in this picture at the same time, but I'd much rather have this than this, right? It's like I really don't care. Um, what's up, modern businessman? How's it going? Thanks for stopping by in this stream. Um, we're not really doing anything in this stream, but tomorrow at 6, 7, 8 p.m. EST, I intend on reacting to oh shit, where did it go? Um, I had a video. Oh yes, Sheep in the Box's video about anarcho-capitalism. I'm gonna be reacting to this and going through it and you know, hopefully debunking it and making some arguments as to, why this guy is misunderstanding anarcho-capitalism. So if you're interested in that, feel free to stop by. Advertisements are why the knowledge problem doesn't apply to large markets. Um, I'm not really sure why that would follow. It doesn't seem like that would really follow to me. Um, yeah. Yeah, certainly the larger the market is, the harder it's going to be to centrally plan it. Like if you have a very large market, it's going to be more challenging to centrally plan it. It's not that it gets easier. I mean, you might even be able to do some central planning if you have like 5 people in your society. Maybe you could actually just like survey them. I don't know how you'd solve the ECP there, but uh, it would certainly be easier than if you had like 10,000 people in your society. So that's just not true. It sucks that he quoted you guys out of context though. It's really shitty. It doesn't apply, but rather it doesn't hinder it as much. Interesting. I mean, yeah, I haven't really thought much about that. The way I see it, the ECP is going to apply everywhere. There's really there's really no way around it. I mean, Mises kind of locked this in a while ago. He kind of he beat the socialist um a long, long time ago. How would an ANCAP society handle necrobiotics, robotic parts, but pumping air into corpses? Well, what specifically would be the problem? Like, a property rights violation? Like, in terms of, like, these bodies that, like, you know, do you think there'd be some sort of, NAP violation in, necrobiotics? Because I would say, oh yeah, I know the ECP isn't the knowledge problem. I was just saying, generally speaking, like, in a centrally planned economy, the ECP and the knowledge problem, they're gonna apply equally. Like, I don't think you can really solve the knowledge problem. Like, I don't know how you would go about it. I know, like, it's not the calculating the weight of a unicorn, but it, I don't think you're gonna solve the knowledge problem either. I mean, good luck, Mr. Socialist. Um, Assume the ECP is solved in yeah, pretty much. Pretty much M334. That is how you solve the ECP. Just close your eyes and put your ears in the in I mean put your fingers in your ears and go na 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 na, and that's how you solve the ECP. You cannot violate the rights of the dead, but that does not mean it would be grossly inefficient as well as gross in many circumstances. Um, yeah, that's probably the case. Yeah, I've never thought about necrobiotics before, but mm, generally speaking, I think the approach you can go down is just, everything is property, and so long as something is under the property, like so long as something is owned by someone, then, you probably shouldn't be doing necrobiotics to it. But if it's unowned, like if you have an unowned corpse and you go and homestead that corpse, then you go do your necrobiotics to it and make it have air pumped into it and shit. I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting idea. I'd say like typically if let's say someone's father died, typically the corpse would probably go down to like the ownership of the corpse would probably go down to like the family or like, one of the individuals in the family, maybe the son or the daughter, whoever the father, like, it would be inferred, and they could go decide if they maybe wanted to relinquish ownership of this corpse and give it to a necrobiotics company, or what they wanted to do with it. I'm not really sure, but I think that would just be a kind of contract dispute. If one doesn't want one's body to be a corpse spot, what rights does he have? Well, I mean, realistically speaking, the NAP applies, specifically when you can get into conflicts, but I don't think you can get into conflicts with a dead person. So I don't think dead people have rights. But I would say that I think rights can be passed down, right? Like, for example, let's say someone owns a house, like a father owns a house, and then he dies. That doesn't mean the house is instantly up for homesteading. Like, the presumed state is that this house is passed down to like a child that the father had or something like that. In which case, you'd have to go ask the kids for it. But let's say someone who literally had um no family members, no friends, no one like that, just a little old man out in the woods, and he dies, then I think his house is up for homesteading. It's abandoned. And you can kind of apply this to any piece of property. A body is just another piece of property, namely a piece of property owned by the person whose brain is in the body. But yeah, it's yeah. He could relinquish rights of his body to someone else in the case of his death. Yeah, exactly. It's like you could say, on the event of my death, my organs will be reserved, the right of my organs uses will be given to my son or something, or to the hospital. They can use my organs when I die. It's a very easy contract kind of dispute, but if someone didn't do that and they had no family or friends, I think it's up for homesteading fundamentally, because who owns it? You can't get into a conflict with a dead guy. Ghosts don't exist, so there's no real conflict over just homesteading this guy's dead body. I mean, should you do that? Um, Ethically speaking, like, probably not. I mean, it seems kind of gross to like be playing around with people's dead bodies, but um, legally speaking, I don't really see any conflict. But maybe I'm wrong there. I haven't really thought much about dead people's property. But it's an interesting question, so thank you for the question. And if anyone else has any questions or thoughts, feel free to send them my way and I'll answer them up. But yeah, we got a lot of people in this stream. I definitely more people than I expected to get. I was not expecting so many viewers. So, again, thank you everyone for coming into the stream and thank you for the support. We've I've been getting a lot of views on some of these videos and I think it's a really great sign going forwards with this channel. I think it's doing really well. So, I'm really excited to keep making new videos. I think one of my next videos is going to be about I'm thinking it's going to be about like a an oligarchy problem. Like people are like, oh, capitalism is just going to turn into like where ANCAP is going to turn into like a bunch of oligarchies or whatever. I'm going to try to refute that, but I'm thinking about that maybe. Is there a donut property problem equivalent in space? Well, what do you mean about in space? Um, I would like a little bit of clarification. I can give you the general donut homestead kind of a general kind of donut homestead solution, but it definitely gets a little bit more complicated. You know, like in 2 dimensions, it's very simple. Like I could even draw one out for you if you wanted. I can go in Microsoft Paint and draw it out and show you. Um, but in 3 dimensions, it gets a little more tricky, and yeah, it's a tricky problem. But we do have solutions to it, generally speaking. Will you get a fleet of editors so the videos can come out every other day? Well, Rafionis, if you want to go edit my videos for free, that's um that's your prerogative. Unfortunately, though, it does take a little bit of time to write the scripts and whatnot. But I'm in college, but I'm on summer break right now, so I'm trying to divert a lot more time to making videos. Yeah, so yeah. I will I'll try to keep as many videos as I can have coming out. That's why another thing is like I've been wanting to get these live streams up a lot. I've had like a bunch of videos that I wanted to kind of do like more like kind of quick rant topics on so I can just I can just kind of release some sort of unedited video where I'm just kind of talking and sharing my mind. Maybe I'll put like some background music in or something like that and just kind of get like a kind of chill atmosphere that's not really super scripted or I'm not trying to be too professional, so I can just get some more videos out. But I'm still working on the logistics of all of that. I think the Donut Homestead argue applies even more in space, as it's literally creating the absolute absence of any escape whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, I could kind of see that. I think the Donut Homestead is one of those like it's a really interesting problem. Not really problem because there's a solution. So it's a really interesting question where I think once you understand the solution to it, you understand like libertarian property theory. Excuse me. You understand libertarian property theory a lot more about how it's founded on exclusion. And it's not about like mixing your labor with the land or whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. It's about exclusion. Because if you were like John Locke and you and it was like you were mixing your labor with the land, I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's really any answer to the donut homestead. If you were like, if it was you were like, oh, I'm like making this land like an extension of my body or whatever the fuck. It's like I don't think there's an answer to it if you're that guy, but once you really understand like exclusion, then it's oh, the person responsible for creating the easement would be the person, encircling the property owner in the middle. That's the person. And it's it's more so that you can't even like you can't actually legitimately claim all of the property. Like you if you have a donut, I mean since we're talking about this, maybe I'll go into Microsoft Paint. Let's see. Um like let's see if I can get this up. I'll try to keep it so I have the chat on the side. You watch Do Lose 4 out of it, and it actually do agree. It's really, yeah, really, right? It's like, it's very interesting. I think it's a really satisfying solution too, like to the answer to this dilemma. So let's say you have like, some property in the middle, and, this is A's property, and then you have some, big, nasty blue guy coming around, and he's trying to claim all of this property. Or actually, let's just do the more basic case first, where blue is just trying to claim this donut of blue space. Right? Well, is this valid? Right? Because, well, to know if this is valid or not, we have to go back to like what actually does it mean to own something? Like, what does it mean to homestead something? Well, it means that you're excluding someone from something, right? So if I have like some set of land and I own it, it means I'm excluding people from that land, and that's a necessary um, you know, fact of ownership. If I can't own something if I'm not excluding people from it. This is you know, why, for example, IP is not valid property because you can't exclude people from ideas. You can't control ideas. So it's like Blue is excluding people from his property. But if has encircled this donut that he supposedly doesn't own, well, he's excluding people from it because if I'm like this little stick man over here and I'm trying to get into this donut, which Blue supposedly doesn't own, I should be perfectly okay with doing that, right? I should be able to get into this donut because Blue doesn't own it. But I can't without going through here because Blue has created a barrier and excluded people from this donut, which he supposedly doesn't own. So we actually discover that Blue actually has to own this donut, right? He can't not own this donut because he's excluding people from it, and that's what it means to have ownership of something. But if someone else already owned this area, well, Blue can't exclude people from that because it's already owned. So he has to kind of create a little path for this person to get out, and he has to not actually claim all of this property. That's kind of how we solve the donut homestead problem. Um, let's say someone finds a small planet and hibernates. Trees and meteors cover it. A second guy comes in and makes a home around it. The core guy wakes up. Who's the aggressor? Well, okay, does he like he makes like a almost like a Dyson sphere around the entire planet, do you mean? Um, because if you have like a Dyson sphere around the entire planet, then you pretty much just have a donut homestead. Um, you pretty much just have like a donut homestead problem in 3D, which is pretty much what I just drew. And in that case, the easement responsibility is on the person who built like the Dyson sphere thing. Yeah, certainly it's not the person who is just like hibernating on like the small planet with the trees and meteors, right? Like the second guy, it's his responsibility to come in and like verify that this property is unowned, right? Like if you were making a Dyson sphere around some planet, it's your responsibility to go in and like say like, okay, is anyone on this planet? Are there any like Martians here or whatever, right? Like you can't just go in and like if let's say I find a house out in the wilderness and I'm like, I want to go own this house. Well, it's my responsibility to make sure no one else owns that. And if I come in and let's say I build like a fence around this house, I'm like, this is my house now. Um, well, now I'm an aggressor, right? Because I just I just encircled this guy's property and excluded him from it, which is unjust because it's not my property to be excluding someone from. Um, so now I'm the aggressor, and it was yeah, because it's my fault, right? I should have thought more into the future. I should have been like, I should have said, hey, maybe someone does live here. Maybe there is actually somebody occupying this house and owning this house. Alien stealing the sun is the funniest part. Indeed, indeed. Um, you will see me in that comment section of the sheep in the box video because I was arguing with socialists for like, isn't that video like 3 years old? 5 years old. Is it, here, let's see if you're there. Is it, were you there
Agencies,
recently?
aka mercenary
Yeah,
group.
shut up, dude. Um, let's see. Mm, 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 mm. Well, I don't know where you are, but I'm sure there's plenty of, retarded socialists to argue with here. Let's see. Mm, yeah, never. These are like the comments that I like I hate the most. Like, never ask an ANCAP, what's the age, what should the age of consent be? It's like, these people genuinely believe that like the state creating some sort of edict just like makes it never happen. Like for example, if the state says like no one can be racist, like all racism just disappears. Like if the state says like you can't rape kids, no one's ever gonna like rape a kid again. Like it's like no, state laws don't do anything, right? State laws are just edicts that do nothing. What we really need is an objective law system to actually determine whether or not someone's in the wrong in a certain situation, right? So just because we don't believe in like state edicts, that doesn't mean we want to like rape children, right? This is just complete ridiculousness. All right, peace out, Project ANCAP, or I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I should call you Turgit. I'm not sure. Whatever your name is. Um, yeah, peace out, man. Thanks for thanks for coming on. I hope I get clipped saying that we don't want to rape children. I mean, it is a factual statement. I don't want to do that. So, yeah, but it's just it's completely misunderstanding what ANCAP is. It's a legal theory. Like they're they're specifically saying like they're saying, oh sorry, I lost my chain of thought. But yeah, you know what? You got my point there, right? Oh yeah, yeah. We have a specific legal theory that addresses these questions of like the age of consent and stuff like that. And they're just ignoring that and saying, oh, because you don't want the state to do something, you don't want it to be done at all. It's a ridiculous argument. It's completely fallacious. Does indiscriminate surveillance and cataloging, count as a violation of the NAP? I think it would probably just depend on the specific situation. Have a good one. Are you heading out, Seaman, or are you just saying goodbye to Turigid or Project ANCAP, whatever you want to call him? But yes, indeed, the mind of a legal positivist cannot be reasoned with. But yeah, surveillance and stuff like that. I mean, I think it kind of depends on like the specific dynamics at play. Like, for example, like let's just say you're like recording someone like in their house, but like you're not like entering their property. Like I don't think that's really an aggression. I think that's something that you would probably have to solve on like the covenant community level, where it's like covenant community would have to be like a covenant community would have to be like, okay, no surveillance in this covenant community, like no recording people. All right, cool, just saying bye to project. Yeah, a covenant community would just have to be like goodbye to good. What am I talking about? A covenant community does have to say like no surveillance in here. But I think like basically speaking, like let's say you're just like following someone around town, like you're like trailing them or whatever. Like that doesn't really seem like an NAP violation to me. That just seems like shady behavior. Maybe you could frame this in the way it's like you're initiating some sort of conflict. I don't know. That seems like just kind of a stretch to me. You have a lot of interesting questions though, modern businessman. A lot of interesting NAP kind of related questions. And these are the questions that I think is great to answer. I might not be the best person in terms of theory, in terms of like answering these like NAP borderline questions, but I'll give it my best. And I do think they're really interesting questions to ask. It's very important stuff. What do you think of the flock camera situation? I'm not actually sure what that is. If you would mind just quickly telling me what that is, I could tell you what I think of it. Because I'll just apply the NAP to it, and that's probably how I'll think of it. Is this something that happened in real life? Yeah, as C-Man said though, covenants in private law could solve these problems really easily. Like, there's a lot of kind of conventionally icky things that could be easily solved with uh, covenants and stuff like that. Like, I think what people need to realize is that law is not something that needs to deal with every single little situation ever. It doesn't need to like dig down into like, oh, what happens if like your grandma's like spinning like on a chair and then like your uncle comes in and he's playing the TV too. It's like we don't need a law for that, right? It's like all we need is all we need is just consistent application of a legal principle, and we can figure out if there's like a conflict there. Like we don't need a law for every specific little situation. A lot of these things can just be dealt with via like freedom of association. Um, Flock cams are AI license plate readers that also collect identities and sell them to cops. So with that, I think in principle, I don't really care that you're reading license plates. Um, it's pretty much just like it's just like if you're driving around in a car on a highway with your license plate out, like people are gonna see your license plate, I think taking a picture of that or you know even recording it, it doesn't matter. But the place where it gets problematic is where you start like giving it to the state, because the way I see that is it's kind of like, I don't know what the name for this is, but it's almost like the mob boss principle, where it's like, let's say there's like a mob boss and he orders someone he orders one of his goons to go kill someone. It's like, who's in the wrong? Well, the goon and the mob boss are in the wrong, because the mob boss is using this goon as an agent of aggression. And I think these AI surveillance readers almost seem like that. It's like they're almost like using the state as an agent of aggression against some people, maybe. It's like, oh, you have these drug dealers, and this AI surveillance thing is gonna go show the state where these drug dealers are so they can go take them down. It's like it almost seems like that almost seems like what's going on. And yeah, the state can only do wrong pretty much. Yeah, I would agree with that. So yeah, it does seem like these AI license plate readers um are almost using the state as an agent of aggression. Not that it like can be used as anything else, but like they're using it like in a way which it probably wouldn't have been doing. Like it wouldn't have had this information without it. So I'm not really a big fan of that. And obviously I'm not a big fan of the state then coming in and actually acting upon it. Again, more evil state bullshit. Um yeah, and as you'd expect, falsely targeting innocent women and city councils ignore victims. Like, yeah, not surprising at all. Very just evil. That's what the state does. That's what it loves doing. Um, yeah, definitely unsurprising when it comes to these sorts of surveillance state things. But like, again, like in principle, I don't think like these surveillance things are wrong. It's just that it's being used by the state. So yeah, I think we should definitely make a distinction there. It's like it's not that it's not that the surveillance is wrong. It's that it's being used by the state, and that's being used to aggress upon people. And I mean, in general, I'm also not a very big fan of like surveillance, because ethics exist outside of the law, and I'm not a big fan of like just surveillance in general. It doesn't seem like a very necessary thing, but yeah, yeah, even private businesses are using them. I mean, if like let's say a private business was like using like surveillance cameras to see like what hamburgers people like, what toppings people like on their hamburgers, so they could like sell more profitable hamburgers. Like that would be fine. But if they were like using these cameras to like sell data to like the state or something like that, it's like, yeah, I don't even know if you can call them private businesses anymore. I guess it would depend. I mean, I would probably be okay with some kinds of surveillance, but you do have a bit of like a rabbit hole there. It's like, I don't know. That's a bit of a tricky question. Like, I definitely wouldn't want like, the birds to be surveilling me and like flying above and like literally looking at every single thing I did. But I do think like some level of surveillance is actually pretty good. Like, you know, um, your phone is like collecting data about like content you like. Like think about like what does the YouTube algorithm do? Like it collects data about you, so it's surveilling you in a certain sense. And it, it's surveilling you, and then it's giving you content you like, right? So it is actually helping you in a sense, which is I think that's a good thing, but it can definitely be used maliciously. If they're selling to the state law, they're all at the yeah, of course they all are selling to the state. They're very evil. Most of them they're very bad, very just evil corporations. So yeah, yeah, of course, no problem hearing you out. Glad I plan on releasing more content, so that's great stuff. Thank you for asking some questions. If you have any more, feel free to leave them somewhere. Maybe I'll start up some sort of, I don't know, area that you guys can ask questions or whatever. I don't know. Just uh spitballing ideas for the future, but I'm not exactly sure how we would establish that. I don't think I have enough listeners and viewers to like have a Discord server yet. Maybe at some point. Maybe if I had like 1,000 subscribers, that would be a more realistic thing. But yeah, yeah, we'll see. Great stuff. Yeah, any more questions from anyone? It is getting pretty late, so yeah, I'll say if does anyone have like any more questions? It can be about anything. Um, it can be, whatever you want. Can be libertarian questions, philosophy questions, video suggestions, anything you want to say before I shut the stream down because it's getting pretty late for me. You will use the lardy to establish your command. I don't even know what the lardy is, so I don't have an opinion on it, but maybe I would if you told me. How would how would black holes and time dilation affect homesteading? Well, unfortunately, I'm not like a quantum physicist, so I don't really I don't really know. Um, well, let's see, like what would the problem be? Uh, I guess time dilation. I mean, I don't think there's really any problem. It's just kind of stretching time in a sense. It's like, two people in different areas with different frames of reference they have different you know, they have different I don't, I'm not a physicist. I don't understand this good enough to like lecture you guys on how it would affect homesteading. My answer is I wish I could tell you. I really do. It's an interesting question. The way it seems to me though is that to have this sort of time dilation relationship, two people have to be in different locations. And if two people are in the same location trying to like homestead the same thing, then they're going to have the same time dilation effect. So it doesn't really seem like you'd have any practical problems relating to homesteading because the practical problem I could see is like if time dilation applied to two different people in the same place. Like if one person was like moving at a different rate in time, but he was like right next to another guy trying to homestead the same like stick or something. And it's like the time, you know, like one person might like homestead something first, but like the time dilation like makes it second. I don't think that's possible with the physics that we have discovered right now. So it doesn't seem like time dilation in black holes would have any effect on homesteading, from my perspective. Oh, okay, it's Tax Brass's message board. Um, yeah, I actually I did look at it one time. It seems pretty cool. I think it's I think it's a very good idea. One thing I'm kind of concerned about with that is a lot of the tax brass people. Like I like tax brass. I do think he's a good ally to the movement, but he's kind of, hoarding in a lot of like I think for lack of a better word, like chuddy kind of people where their whole kind of thing is like, I don't like the Browns, which is like, yeah, that's very bad stuff. Like, you know, uh, I'm not a left. I'm not trying to like virtue signal and sound like a leftist, but like, racism isn't good. You know, um, it's a fallacy. It's fallacious reasoning. It's just bad. Like, so just the kind of counter signaling, and I don't know. It just seems like that kind of stuff is probably going to start overrunning the Lardy if Tax Brass continues his stuff. But I do like him. Like he's actually very good. Like if we look at like the stuff he's making, he actually has good videos. Like let's see. Skixos are right about like yeah, government surveillance, like that's true. Billionaire propaganda, definitely true. Making fun of taxes and Nick Fuentes and stuff. Like these are good stuff. Like yeah, most of this is it's pretty good stuff. So I don't really have racism equals funny, racism equals bad. I mean, it is pretty funny, but it is pretty bad, so I agree with that. Yeah, of course, a modern businessman. Thank you for asking questions. Um, so yeah, that's my opinion on the Lardy. I think it's a good idea. It has a chance to flourish, but there's also a, the oh, okay, ask your question. There's is also that you know, potential taxed brass audience, taxed brass audience influence that might kind of bring it down. And I do think like a lot of this is like we don't need like you know quirky, goofy racism in our libertarian movement. I don't think it's really going to help people. Like I'm a believer in the remnant strategy, but I don't think that stuff helps get the remnant. Like I don't think that stuff helps attract the remnant. So it's like, I think again we should just preach the radical message, but definitely don't like just be unnecessarily provocative if it doesn't have any strategic advantage. Um, yeah, what do you mean racism isn't good? Sub-Saharan anti-black person saying, indeed. All right, what do you say? If surveillance changes behavior, would it be considered an NAP violation? So what do you mean by changes behavior? Um, let's let's see specifically what you mean by that, because that is like, excuse me, I mean, interesting wording. Like by behavior, do you mean like someone watching someone else changes the way the person being watched acts? Because that seems like like a volitional kind of thing where it's like there isn't an NAP violation. Like, for example, my neighbor might like paint his house red, and then that might make me very angry, and then I kill myself. It's like, was there an aggression? Well, no, of course not. I'm just being very irrational. So, I mean, if that's what you're saying, I don't think there's any NAP violation, but maybe that's not what you mean. In which case, I'd be interested to know what you do mean. But yeah, in general though, I guess just to answer the question of like what happens if one person does something. Oh, okay, he's elaborating. The father plays with his children at a park. The surveillance causes people to accuse him of being weird. So is the father doing the surveilling, or is like because this kind of seems like a question of like almost a defamation question. Like like is it an NAP violation to go say that like someone's like a rapist or something? Like, is it an NAP violation if I go out and say like, Mr. Jones like is a rapist, Mr. Jones is like a sex predator, and I don't think that's an NAP violation to do that. So it seems like my answer to your question will probably be no. Father is not surveilled. Okay. Um, surveillance causes people to accuse him of being weird. Hmm. Yeah, I still don't know exactly what you mean by that, but I will say just generally. Oh, okay. There's like a park owner like watching the father play with his kids, and like people are thinking he's weird because of that. I would say like, that's probably not an NAP violation. That sounds more just like a kind of like a civil issue almost. I don't really like that term that much, but that's what it does sound like to me. Um, yeah, like just generally speaking, like defamation and stuff like that, like those aren't NAP violations. Now, they're immoral things. I don't think lying is good, of course. I think lying is unethical and you shouldn't be doing it. But um, it's not a problem for it's not a problem for the law to deal with. Yeah, you can't own your own reputation, so damages it to it can't be done. Now people don't want to be defamed, so private law would solve that. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's a private law thing, covenant community thing. Please make a scheduled stream so that the warriors can get ready. Um, yeah, maybe I will. I'll look into it. Maybe for now, we'll say 8 o'clock. How about that? I'm pretty sure I don't have any commitments that would stop me from doing 8 o'clock. I know there's also a way to like specifically schedule the stream so people can like click on it and it's like gonna start at 8 o'clock. So I can look into doing that. I'm not sure how to do it, but I can look into that and try to make that happen. I think 8 o'clock is a good time though. Tweet about starting the stream. Yeah, okay, that works. We'll just go start a tweet or something like that. Yeah, I think like the Seaman said though, if you're asking questions about like NAP violations, what we really need to do is like break it down to fundamentals, right? Like what is property? What is the NAP even talking about? It's talking about conflicts. Um, and conflicts are over scarce resources. And if there's no like scarce resource and that has no owner, then there's really no conflict to be had. Like this is how we like dismiss IP. It's like, well, what is the conflict over? Right? It's over an idea. How the fuck do I have a conflict over an idea? Right? It's like that's how we dismiss this idea of intellectual property. Um, and that's also how we would dismiss ideas of like defamation being an NAP violation. It's like what is the conflict? Like what is this scarce resource that was supposedly like initiated a conflict over? I don't see it. Is the scarce resource in the room with us? The kind of thing. So that's how I would look at that kind of thing. But yeah, that's another interesting question though. I do think the NAP is the foundation of law, but not the whole of it. Now, I might disagree there. I do think the NAP is kind of the entirety of law, but law is a subset of ethics, so it's not the entirety of ethics, of course. But I do think it like the field of law is specifically studying how we handle conflicts, and the NAP is our answer to how we handle conflicts. But maybe I'm misinterpreting you, and you actually agree with me because I do think that's the standard libertarian response. Um, but yeah, maybe not. Maybe I'm misinterpreting you. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, of course, like I do believe in ethics outside of just the NAP, right? Like for example, I think like smoking crack is unethical. Like you should not be smoking crack. Um, but of course, it's not an NAP violation. Private law could reach into things such as defamation. Well, I think that would just be working under NAP compliant contracts. Like that would just be pretty much like a covenant community. Everyone's already signed a contract that says like if you do defamation then XYZ, right? Which is like that's kind of already that's already like working in the realm of the NAP, right? So it's like that's kind of just the fact that like freedom of association and contracts exist. But the only reason we can have contracts and have a coherent theory of contracts and freedom of association is because we have the NAP. Um, yeah, right. It's the whole point. It's the whole of law. That doesn't prevent people from making contracts to prevent certain behaviors, right? Like, yeah, contracts don't have to be within the range of conflicts. Like, I can make a contract that's like if I like if you like hop, skip, jump, and do a backflip, then I'll give you my house, right? Like, so it's or like if you hop, skip, and do a backflip, then like I'll shoot you in the face or something, you know? So yeah, I mean contracts don't have to be within that realm, but I don't think you're like incorrect, C-Man. I think you were just saying it in a way that sounded like we were disagreeing, but we actually do agree, and we do just agree that the NAP is law, and private law has to be within the domain of the NAP. The Seaman, I'm pretty sure you would not advocate that private law violate the NAP, right? It has to like be within the range of the NAP. Um, damn this cough! I've had it for months. Oh, that sucks. I do feel bad. I hope your cough gets better. What if one wanted to keep his non-aggressive purchases private? Um, what does that mean? Uh, non-aggressive purchases private. I mean, it sounds like a pretty easy thing to do, since I mean all property is private property, and purchase is pretty non-aggressive. So it sounds like maybe was this in response to a previous question, or is it a new line of inquiry? I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, yeah. Private law cannot violate the NAP. Indeed, that is just statism. It's just full legal positivism. Yeah, but yeah, like you said, private law stays within the bounds of the NAP. That's all set, all well and good, and we like that stuff. There should be ideally, I think in a covenant community, there would be tons of rules, and we'd be kicking people out left and right for doing retarded things, like you know, smoking crack in like the town square. Like, I hope we kick those people out. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It should be people private within the bounds of their own rights. Yeah, I mean that sounds like a reasonable response to modern businessman. I mean, I don't see where the problem is necessarily, but maybe there's one that I'm not seeing. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Interesting stuff though. I do think got a vid recommendation for covenant communities. I do think there's stuff to talk about there. It's like I think kind of clearing the water on like explaining to people that just because you know you can't like go out and attack people for doing things you like a Christian might want to, like some Christian guy might want to like go fucking persecute gay people. Like I think we can say that like just because we don't think you can't go out and persecute gay people, you can go have like a covenant community without them if you wanted. I don't think you should be doing that, but I mean, um, you get my point, right? It's like so I do think clearing some of that stuff up could be good. That's kind of just you know, uh Hans Hermann Hoppe stuff. It's good stuff. I do think it's a little bit like yeah, I mean it is important. I could definitely look into that. I don't think a video on that would need to be too long or too in depth. It's kind of just explaining to people that like yeah, no, contracts are very powerful things. Does not disclosing certain things with your partner count as a violation of any current status. Certain behaviors obviously. I think if you're like this is just an instance of like fraud, right? Where it's like oh, I'm gonna sell you like a really nice Mercedes, and then you sell me like it's like a knockoff or something. It's like that's uh that's fraud, and I think it's like I mean, what is the analogy with a trans person? It's like I'm gonna sell you, or I'm gonna give you this really nice pussy, and it's actually like boy pussy, right? So it's like, I mean, I do think it's analogous. I don't see a principal difference, so I'd say there's some sort of fraud. It's you're definitely just, I mean, it's yeah, it's definitely. definitely probably some sort of NAP violation. Now, I don't know. I think this would be one of those things where it's like we would need more of like a judge and like a jury, like a trial kind of thing, maybe to figure out exactly what is like going on here. Because, maybe, if I'm like, in a relationship with someone, I'm not going to be like, hey, like, do you have a dick? I'm kind of like inferring something, but maybe like the trans person, um, actually thought that it was really obvious they're transgendered. Maybe they were like, let's see, let's see. Maybe they were like fucking this guy, right? And they were like, yeah, I look like a guy. So yeah, it's I don't need to disclose that I'm a guy because like it's pretty clear that I'm one. Maybe in that case it's like there isn't really an NAP violation and it's actually just like negligence on the part of like the other person. So I don't know. You have to ask that question when dating now. Yeah, I mean, in if you were in California, probably, or in New York State, it's pretty unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, you could maybe even bring in like some like mens rea versus like actus reus analysis here. Like, maybe it's a guilty action, but the trans person doesn't have like the guilty mind, or I don't know, or maybe it's just pure negligence. Like maybe it's a situation where it's like, oh, here, sir, would you like to buy some poison? And then like they go like drink the poison. It's like, oh, I died. You violated the NAP. It's like, well, that's not an NAP violation. You're just like a negligent idiot, right? So it could be like that. I mean, it is. It's a funny question. The ethics of transgender sex starting to get actually difficult. Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's too many of them that you can't like really tell. Yeah, as difficult as it can be. Well, wigs go pretty far. Stuff like that. Uh, yeah, I mean it's interesting stuff. Oh, I just IMM344 says LOL. Oh yeah. IMM, you were in the chat before. You just came in randomly. I forgot that you were in the chat before. All well and good to hang out and just be lurking. It's always good. Uh yeah, no, I mean, what was I doing? I don't know. Yeah, these are the questions that we need to be answering though. I mean, if we want a proper libertarian society, like this question right here, I mean, this is the stuff we need to be getting into. Clearly. I mean, this is the important stuff. What is the appropriate punishment? Who cares about that, right? Like the real questions we need to be answering are like, you know, do transgenders violate the NAP? That's what we need to be talking about. That's the proper stuff for our focus. Very good stuff, guys. We all love to see it. Something that I'm hoping for is that maybe tomorrow we get like a socialist in the stream or something like that. I think that would be very interesting. If like maybe we got a what's his name? Like a sheep guy. Fucking oh, where did he go? Like the guy I'm gonna watch the video of,
Agencies, aka
what's his name? Sheep in a box, like a sheep in a box defender, and we can like see if we can have some sort of like a debate with him or something. Maybe I don't know, some sort of like live chat debate. I don't know. That'd be interesting. Or some sort of like a defender of like dialectical materialism. Get those guys in here and they can start like uh yapping away to us about how like contradictions are real and stuff like that. I mean, I do hope that we get someone like that in the stream. That would be great. Yeah, right. I mean, it does like amaze me at how dumb they are, but it is fun arguing with them because they're just so incredibly wrong. And it's just like I don't know. Like there's a guy in my chat, not in my chat, in like this in the YouTube comments right now, in the last video I made, um, YouTube Studio, where he's like talking about like dialectical materialism. I was like, where is this guy? Oh, yeah, get rid of this. He's tr- where did he go? Um, oh yeah, I was like, socialists don't understand capitalism at all because they're living in their ridiculous world of dialectic processes, and it's like, which is incorrect because and it's like, I mean, if you want to go into a discourse about why Hegel's dialectic process is incorrect, we can, but not sure if that's what you're defending though. Um, he's like talking like these people are like they actually believe this crap. You know, like they actually believe in like what do you think the dialectic process is? It's like, I'm pretty fucking sure I know what the dialectic process is. Do you know what the dialectic process is? Um, it's like, oh yeah, that's really fucking funny. I've never thought about that before, Steven. I can't wait to hear about how ANCAP is contradictory from dialectical materials. Like, you guys believe in contradictions. In fact, this should be seen as a good thing. Like, on Hegel, right? Like the more like contradictory the belief, the better it was. Like Hegel, like I don't know how much you guys know about like his dialectical materialism, but his whole theory of history is like you have the thesis, the antithesis, and then the synthesis, which like reconciles the contradiction. Um, but like Hegel was like trying to predict religions in like predict the religion that would happen and like trace his dialectic process throughout history. And he had like some Buddhism or some shit like that as like the thesis, and then some other one is the antithesis, and then his synthesis, which is like the ideal one, the most good state of it, was Christianity because it had contradictions. Because like Christianity has like there's like one true God because it's like monotheism, but there's like actually the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. So there's like, all these contradictions in Christianity, and it's like that's why Hegel thinks it's good because it has all these contradictions. So it's like they have no ground to say like ANCAP is contradictory or like an oxymoron, because that would make it more correct on their premises. Like we're more correct because we're allegedly contradicting ourselves. So that's a very interesting thought to go down. Um, it's not necessarily the argument I would go for because it like to say that we're more correct forces us to like accept the dialectical materialism crap, which is like I'm not doing that, but you get my point. It's very interesting. Did you make a video about the prod Hondas being nuked from orbit by the rest of the ANCOMs, or was that was probably only springtime? I haven't talked about the prod Hondas. I haven't really read much about Prodhound, but yeah, I mean, I'm moderately familiar with his you know, stuff, and I'm not a big not a big fan of it, obviously. Um, what area of study has the highest number of fallacies in your opinion? Um, probably philosophy, actually. Yeah, definitely philosophy, which is unfortunate because I think it's one of the most important areas of study. But when you look at what the modern philosophers are doing, it's not very impressive stuff. It's very bad. Um, to anyone watching this, I mean, I know my audience is very libertarian. Um, and a lot of libertarians are very smart people and philosophical, but not all of you guys, really dig down into like the deeper philosophical stuff. But if you're interested in it, I would highly recommend this series of free lectures on YouTube. Please watch these. It's by Leonard Peikoff, who's an objectivist, and he's a very smart guy. Really appreciate him a lot. Um, it's called The History of Philosophy. It's this right here by the Ayn Rand Institute, and we're not going to watch any of these right now, but it's all of these full lectures that go through the history of philosophy, and you'll see how it develops into like this ridiculous cesspool of contradictions over the years, and philosophy just gets more and more corrupted and destroyed, and it has so many fallacies. So I think Modern Businessman, if you're wondering about that, definitely go watch the history of philosophy. IMM says, I'm in a communist country. They teach this stuff in high schools, colleges, and unis. Unsurprising, and I'm very sorry for you. I mean, I'm not sure about your situation, but I hope you can. I mean, America's pretty communist too, but it's it sounds like you're probably not in America. and I really hope that you are able to escape wherever you are, because that's very unfortunate. And yeah, I didn't know they taught that, but I'm not surprised that they genuinely teach like dialectical materialism, which is incredibly disappointing and sad. And yeah, yeah. So I wish you the best of luck, IMM. Seriously, stay strong, bro. Using their own theories to prove us right. Yeah, exactly. This is what happened when this is what happens when you just embrace all these contradictions. It's like you can't get anywhere. You can't use any logic. As soon as they try to like create a syllogism talking about why communism is good, just say that's bourgeois logic, and you can't use that. Bourgeois logic is actually bad. We need to use the proletarian logic. So get rid of that bourgeois logic. It's also fun when they talk about how capitalist exploitation, even though they don't have ethics. Yeah, exactly. They don't have ethics because they're materialists, right? Like a materialist can't say something's bad because it was just bound to happen. It's like oh, that rock is evil. It's like, well, the rock was gonna roll down the hill and smash the building regardless. It wasn't an action. It was just a bunch of particles smashing into each other. So, fuck, let the workers get exploited, right? Because on their grounds, they have no way to say that this exploitation is bad. Um, Most important pressing question of libertarian philosophy. Not exactly sure what you were talking about with respect to that, but yeah, we've been talking about a lot of, I mean, now we've actually kind of switched to more interesting stuff. We're not more interesting, but more serious stuff. Um, Earlier we were talking about like trans NAP violations, so maybe that's what you're talking about, and I agree, that is the most important question. But now we actually are talking about important stuff. Yeah, bourgeois gods. Yeah, indeed, definitely. Definitely bourgeois gods, full bourgeois. I'm 100% bourgeois, 0% proletarian. Um, I use bourgeois logic and I'm not afraid to admit it. Great stuff. We have a bunch of fucking Chad-based bourgeois logic users right here. And we all love to see it. Unfathomably based bourgeois logic. Yeah, the proletariat, I hope they get exploited, man. I just keep exploiting the proletariat. Good stuff. Mr. Bourgeois. Bourgeois capitalist, good stuff. Yeah, the proletariat, maybe they deserve to be exploited, right? Karl Marx never asked that. But yeah, yeah, I definitely recommend this history of philosophy if you want to listen to it. Um, if you want to listen to it, just like in your ear, Leonard Peikoff Library has it. Okay, Leonard Peikoff Library, and just look up like history of philosophy. Um, History of philosophy right here, and you'll start to understand how the modern world is so fucked. Um, History of modern philosophy is really good. It's all good. It's two essentially classes. I mean, it's a lot of content, but I think it's worth it. Yeah, labor exploitation is indeed based. It it is indeed based. Because it gets all the shit I like. It gets me all my Chinese products, and I really like them. So keep exploiting. Um, yeah, no, definitely listen to this history of philosophy though. It completely just I won't say like revolutionized my life or anything like that, but I will say it helps you grasp how the world got so fucked. Like just so unfathomably fucked. Because it's almost like from our like ANCAP perspective, right? All of us we're like ANCAPs here. We're rational. We're like thinking about the world. And we look out and we see, yeah, the death of Kant, indeed. We look out and we see like all of these just retarded things, just retarded, completely retarded things. And we're like, how the hell did that get there? Like, how are people believing this? And I think the history of philosophy lectures really highlight like what went wrong. Like what the fuck went wrong? Because ANCAP is not really like a particularly it almost seems like, if there was no prior corruption of philosophy, it would be like the default position, right? Like, because all ANCAP's really doing is taking, okay, well, we do a lot more than this, but one of the things we do is we take a step back and say, what is the government? Well, it's like this evil body of people that tells you what you can and can't do with your own shit. It's like any rational man would see that and be like, fuck no. Like, you can't do that. Um, I want more sweatshops. Anything to make my t-shirts $1 cheaper. Indeed. Abs absolutely based. Have you seen what's going on with state grocery stores in NYC? Um, well, I'm guessing it has to do with Zohran Mamdani. All of our, favorite guy. I'm a big fan of Zohran Mamdani. I was there day one, campaigning with him. Great guy. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna guess. Don't even tell me. I'm gonna close the page if you comment. I'm gonna guess he was just essentially all the stores are getting robbed, and they're doing really fucking shit. It's like as he just keeps on like bailing them out. I'm guessing is what he's doing. It's not good though. These state grocery stores, very bad stuff, obviously. I don't need to tell you guys that, but it's very unfortunate. We not subscribe to communist, anarcho-minarchist, whatever the hell that means. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, we use um, proletarian logic on top. One of the most dishonest arguments against the NAP is that, oh, people will do a bad thing, and if no one stops them, they'll get away with it. Yeah, again, it's like, it's, I like Liquid Zulu's, way to deal with this argument. It's like, oh, well, don't worry. The wizard will stop them. It's like they say, like, who's the wizard? Oh, the magical wizard. He's going to stop them from doing bad things. Because it's like this is really just the level of how retarded this criticism is. Like, eh, it's really just the most low tier, low level, like just weak criticism of ANCAP that exists. It's not a good criticism or really any ideology. I mean, you could spin this against anyone, like, oh, you want to do XYZ thing? Well, what if people do bad things, right? It's like it's just such a low level criticism that it really just it pisses me off because it's just like it's the most moot point you could possibly imagine. He basically wants to make the state grocery stores across the street from the private ones, then just not sell some items at the private ones therefore it's not competing with them. It's absolutely genius. Um, well, I mean, the private ones probably sell quite a bit of groceries because they're private and they're probably really good. So I'm guessing it's probably not going to work very well. It's probably just going to, because people are retarded, they're going to buy from the state grocery shops, which have like controlled prices, and then all of the private stores are going to go out of town, and then you're going to have a shortage of groceries. And then you're just gonna have more like really poor homeless people. Um, I mean, this is the same thing you see with like rent controls. Um, where I mean, if you don't know, if you don't know why rent controls are bad, well, I mean, I'll explain it to you. Rent controls are bad because they lower the amount of profit that somebody can get from a rental unit, and it's actually good if you can have a lot of profit, because that allows you to, keep maintaining the unit. But let's say I can make $100 from some unit, and a rent control has been put in place that makes it so now I can only, I can't afford the maintenance cost anymore. What am I going to do as a property owner? Well, I'm going to stop maintaining it and I'm going to stop renting it out. And it's just going to be abandoned. That's why you have one of the reasons why you have all these abandoned apartment units because they're not profitable to maintain. So the buildings just crumble down and they're abandoned while there's all of these homeless people on the streets. It's very bad stuff. Yeah, exactly. South African government levels of intelligence. Indeed, it's like just keep redistributing shit. Surely there will be no consequences if you keep on demonizing the productive people. Surely artificially cheaper prices won't kill it. Yeah, exactly. These stores have like 1 or 2% profit margins. Like it's an incredibly tight ran ship. So if you just mess with the market, you're going to fuck things up. It's not going to be a good result. Gamer Moves has spent centuries trying to beat um, Okatsuki on said argument and has gotten nowhere. Excuse me, not because you're wrong, because this is dumb and stupid. I'm not exactly sure what argument you're talking about, but yeah, I mean, people are dishonest. It's really hard to. In my one of my last videos, actually, I talked about this in the bullet biting video. I don't know if you guys saw it, but in the bullet biting videos, I specifically talked about like you really can't argue with these like subjectivist people who are like dishonest. Like they're just gonna keep on switching their viewpoint. You're never gonna be able to pin them down on anything. So really just ignore them, right? Like I don't care what they have to say, right? It's like who cares? Arth's comment. Oh, that. Okay, yes, yes. True. Is money printing part of the free market or is it fraud? Well, it depends on um if you're printing notes to money that actually exists. So the place where it's fraud is, let's say I'm like a bank and people have deposited 10 grams of or 100 grams of gold into my reserves, and then I print out notes for 1,000 grams of gold. Well, now that's fraud, right? Because I'm pretending to have property that I don't actually have. But if I'm just printing out the money that like printing out notes for 100 grams of gold, which I actually do have, then that's perfectly legitimate. That's just the gold the notes are just a stand-in for the gold because no one wants to like carry gold around. So it depends on if they're printing notes for money that they for gold or whatever the currency is, Bitcoin, whatever the fuck, that they actually have. Um yeah, they will use the rent freezes to seize the apartments. And when they seize the apartments, they're going to be state ran and they're going to be horrible. They're going to be deteriorating. It's going to look like commie blocks. They're going to have even worse services than they do now under like the rent frozen like poor crushed landlords incentives. Like it's going to be horrible. Money part of the free market. Yeah, I mean again, it depends on specifically what um is being printed, but I suspect that there would certainly be currency. But I reject the fact that there would be a fractional reserve in the free market. I don't think you can have fractional reserve in the free market. Yeah, fractional reserve is mass unjustified printing. If that's what you're trying to get at, then I definitely agree with that. Yeah, the problem with fractional reserve banking is that you have this sort of like group property where apparently the bank owns the titles to these notes and is able to like lend them out, but also the people own the titles to these notes. It's like you can't have that, right? You can't have contradicting property rights over some piece of gold or piece of banknote or whatever, right? Only one person owns it. You can't have it that the bank owns it and this person owns it. So you have like this fraudulent relationship. And then you also have the problem of like the bank printing notes for money that it doesn't have, which is just blatantly fraud. But even if they weren't doing that, this fractional reserve kind of thing, it's still definitely fraudulent because it's just it's having this like collective property right, which is yeah not I mean, it's a contradiction. It can't be valid, right? It's under the free market, under proper property norms. But if you had a specific like firm that said like, yes, the point of this firm is that you give us this money, and then it's essentially like a loan kind of thing, maybe like a certificate of deposit. Like you give us this money, and 6 months later we'll give you 6% more and the initial sum. It's like that's perfectly valid, but in that's not a bank really anymore. That's just a certificate of deposit or some sort of like thing like that. Seeing people defend fractional reserve banking on Ask ANCAP is hilarious. Yeah, who's defending fractional reserve banking? That is yeah, I think fractional reserve banking is like it's pretty clearly fraud. I mean, I think the general point of like, go out into the street and ask people like who owns the money in your bank account. Like they think they own the money in their bank account, right? They don't think that the bank owns it. They think they own it, and the bank is loaning it out, and it's definitely not like legitimate. It's not like a legitimate capitalist interaction. Like definitely fraud going on behind the scenes. And it can be kind of legitimate if you do it as like a some sort of like hedge fund kind of thing, but that's not how these organizations set themselves up. They set themselves up as if they're like you know, a bank where you put your money and it sits and then you can come get it whenever you want. It's it's definitely like yeah, it's not something you see on a free market. It's very very weird for people to defend it as well. I don't know. It seems like one of those things that people actually almost like across the party spectrum would be a fan of. And I will say like with respect to like fractional reserve banking, like I always just like even intuitively, like I took when I was in high school, I took like an economics class or something. I mean, it was like state bullshit economics, horrible stuff. I hate it now that I like actually understand this stuff, but back in the time, I didn't know any of this, anything I know now, but I do remember, even intuitively back then, when they were explaining fractional reserve banking, they were saying like, "Oh, the bank gets in like this much money, and then they loan all of this out." It's like this intuitively just felt wrong. It was like, even though I had no economics or ethics or property theory knowledge at all, I was like, what the hell? They just loan out all this money. Like, what happens if the people want it? Right? It's like this is like clearly an unsustainable system. So it feels like something that people like across the party line or like across the political spectrum would be like, yeah, this is just like blatantly bad. Like this is clearly just like fraud. I don't know though. Maybe other people don't feel the same way, but I mean there are more elaborate defenses of fractional reserve banking, but like I don't know. It seems like pretty obvious to me that it's fraud, even when you take into consideration these like more elaborate considerations. Yeah, uh, Canadians versus Austriarians. Um, they would be against it if they were paid off to be for it. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm having a brain stroke right now. I'm trying to read that. They would be against it if they were paid off to be for it. Wouldn't they be against it if they were paid off to be against it? Sorry, I don't know. Maybe I'm re misinterpreting your thing wrong, reading it wrong. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, fractional reserve banking is it's an interesting question though. Like I do think it is. I think I'm not like the economics and ethics of oh okay, yeah, weren't the economics and ethics of private property is like it's not my favorite book ever. Because I think Hoppe kind of has these like problems like um the second half of the book where it's like I don't think his philosophy is very good. I really don't. Like, I'm sorry. Sorry, Hoppe. I am like a believer in argumentation ethics for the most part, but like, I don't think the way he gets there is very good. But I do think he has a very good section on fractional reserve banking. He took a big part of that book just to talk about fractional reserve banking and just freaking destroying these like two guys, I forget their names, that are like supposedly Austrian economicists. And it's like they're clearly not after Hoppe like dismantles them. Chicago School of Economics is a very useful tool to prove actual physical claims for it. Yeah, I mean it is. But we know all of these things already. We don't even really need them. But unfortunately, like the normies, they want like their empirical evidence for everything. They can't fathom the idea of something being like you know, true without having to like fucking test it every single time. Like, oh yeah, how do you know the minimum wage won't do this time? We just have to try it again. It's like it's ridiculous shit. And yeah, they were definitely paid to be pro fractional reserve. Absolutely. How could you hail Hoppe? Yeah, I mean hail Hoppe for the most part. Thankfully, I do think like something that is very good is that Hoppe doesn't really talk about philosophy very much. Because And I don't know how interested in philosophy are you guys? What are your philosophical dispositions? Because I'm very much not a Kantian, but Hoppe is a Kantian. Hoppe is he definitely he literally talks like he almost directly quotes from from Kant in that book. Like I was like just reading through one of the chapters, I was like really just disappointed. Like he just adopted like this whole really philosophically like bad take in like one sentence, and he just like snuck it in. I was like, what the fuck was this? Like, I like no, dude, you have to establish this because I don't accept this at all. Um, yeah, but thankfully he doesn't talk about that much. Hop is mostly an economist, and he's very good when he does that. Like when he stays in his realm, he's very good, and I do appreciate that. Yeah, he'll just take a section to like just like shit on someone, and I do like that because it's like I think just like what like a theory of socialism and capitalism, like he's not shitting on any particular person, but I like it because the way it just shits on socialism. It's like it doesn't give them anything. You know, like every chapter, just like it's almost the way I read that book is like I imagined like someone like falling off the Grand Canyon, and then they like grab onto like a little like like stick that's like shooting out like you'll see in the cartoons, and then Hoppa comes down and he like kicks them off that stick, and then they grab onto a ledge again, and he kicks them off the ledge. And they grab onto like another stick, and he kicks them off that. Like that's how reading that book feels. I think it's very very fun to read because he just like he doesn't give them any ground. Like they don't get anything, and he doesn't really talk too much philosophy in that book. I mean, he has like that one or two chapters on like empiricism or whatever, but they're like okay. But yeah, no. For the most part, that book is very good. And he's just completely obliterating socialism, which is great. I mean, definitely awesome. Yeah, right. It's like that's really what it feels like because I like the way he attacks it from all angles. Like, okay, like what might a socialist say? Well, they might say this. Okay, let's completely fucking destroy that viewpoint. It's like, okay, what might they say after we do that? Well, they might have this objection. Let's completely fucking destroy that. It's like it's. I mean, I don't even know how you could like I guess the way you'd have to be the only way you could really be a socialist after reading that book is like Hoppe the final ledge like that Hoppe didn't do is like he didn't crush them on dialectical materialism. Like he didn't succeed there because I he didn't try to. He probably could have. I don't think debunking dialectical materialism would be very hard. I mean, pretty much just say A is A and you beat them. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the only way you could still be a socialist after reading that book. But if you're not like a big like dialectical materialism guy, then after reading that book, if you're not if you're still a socialist, I think you're just evading, you're just like pretending like to not see arguments so you can like continue to be a wholesome Chungus socialist. Like I don't think there's any way you can still be one after that if you read it, which is like, very good. Very good that he's just obliterating these socialists. But I don't think his economics is really like where he shines the most. I think Hoppe's best thing is definitely argumentation ethics. I mean, I think it's very useful. I mean, it doesn't prove the NAP in and of itself, but it is like it's very useful for us, like to establish ground and be like either you have to be rational or you have to just be an animal beast and just be like a retard who doesn't justify anything, just like flailing around and doing whatever you want. Um, Light socialists would probably be persuaded, but they're just dishonest and are socialists for the feels. Yeah, I mean, a real socialist, like a real Marxist, they're not going to budge any ground because he didn't really tackle the dialectical materialism, which is something that I kind of want to do in one of my videos at some point. But that would be like a deep dive video, like a really like in that video, what I would want to do is like give a little bit of history of philosophy, like how the hell did he get here? Because if you explain dialectical materialism, like C-Man, I don't know how much you know about it. You seem like you know a lot, so you seem like a smart guy, but so maybe you know all of it. I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful and say like you don't know anything about it. Maybe you know all of it. Maybe you know 1,000 times more than I do. But like if you don't know, if you try to explain it to someone who doesn't know, you sound like just an insane person. You sound like a schizophrenic. Like you genuinely just sound like like those people in like a big city, like the homeless people who like just talk out into the fucking like air. And like, that's what you sound like if you try to explain it to someone who isn't like keyed in. So I think I'd want to like give a little bit of history of philosophy to explain what the hell this stuff is, and then just like completely take it apart, like just completely destroy it. Yeah, but that would be a really big video. That video would probably be like 40, 50 minutes maybe. Um, and that would, but I think it's a worthwhile project because if I just completely do that, it's like anytime there's ever like a socialist trying to talk to me, I can just be like, dude, I completely destroyed your entire worldview. That you have nothing. Real Marxists are barely able to, yeah, yeah, pretty much. I mean, are Marxists the rational animal anymore? Are Marxists even human? I don't know. Okay, yeah, of course they are, but it is unfortunate what they believe. I mean, a lot of it is just a pseudo intellectual like justification for their envy. But then like the more keyed in Marxists are like they actually believe this shit, and it's like what the fuck? Not very well versed in Marxist philosophy, but I'm getting more educated on it. Tried explaining that they thought contradictions were real, and I sounded insane. Yeah, exactly. You will sound like a crazy person if you try explaining to this without any like background. Like the socialists, like if you try pinning a socialist down on this and being like, dude, you literally think contradictions are real. They're gonna be like, what do you mean? I don't think contradictions are real. What, you're a crazy person. It's like, because they don't even know the background of their own philosophy. Like, they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. So, it's like really digging down and showing what the hell all of this is even founded on is important because it's founded on some crazy stuff, and you won't hear them talking about it because either they're just like midwit socialists who aren't like very keyed in and they're just doing it for the feels and the wholesome chungus, or they're like a really adept socialist and they know that it's ridiculous. And so they won't tell you because they know they can't convince you. Or they know they're so insane that there's nothing they could do to convince you because they're just like, they know their beliefs are retarded. Maybe they don't think they're retarded, but they know their beliefs sound crazy. So you won't hear anyone talking about it. But yeah, if you're interested in Marxist philosophy, I know I already recommended this, but these two lectures in particular, um, the one lecture of this history of philosophy, modern philosophy, Kant to present, lecture 3 and lecture 4, I believe. Is this the one? Um, okay, so lecture 4. It's one of these. It'll give it like a description. Lecture 4 explains like Hegel, it seems like. And lecture 5 explains a lot about Marx. And Marx comes from Hegel. And you have to understand Hegel to understand Marx. Like you can't understand Marx really, truly speaking, without understanding Hegel. And that lecture is pretty good on understanding that. Yeah, most socialists think it's just one social programs. Sure, it's socialist, but that's not even. Yeah, exactly. It's like that's just you haven't even scratched the surface level. It's like they're literally just like compared to what it is, they're like just little fucking babies. Communists won't admit their root is noism. I don't know what that word means, but yeah, feel free to let me know. You're gonna start reading Angles and try not to lose my sanity. I mean, honestly, dude, I would just recommend like the lectures I said. Like, really, it'll give. Oh, good night, Raptionos. It'll give you a really good summary, pretty quickly though, because like you really don't need to dig through this crap because it's just so nonsensical. I think what we really need to do is just be like, okay, you know, where do they get their beliefs from? like in terms of the history of philosophy, like how did these beliefs come about? How do they justify them? And what are they really? But I don't think you really need to. I mean, if you want to be like a Marxist scholar, not that I think you want to be a Marxist, but like a scholarly, have scholarly knowledge on Marx, yeah, you should probably read through it. But if you're just trying to like figure out where they're coming from more, so you can like refute them better, I don't think you really need to like dig through these like huge texts and like read like all the capitals and stuff like that. Like I don't think it's necessary. Really, I think you need to just cut them out at their foundation because what you'll see is if you really dig down, they have a lot of like just really easy to refute assumptions. And it's like if you can cut out those assumptions, it's almost like, a Jenga tower. It's like you cut out the bottom two blocks. It's like everything else falls. And so if you can cut out those bottom blocks, it's like it's just over for them. They just have nothing to do. So that's what I would recommend in terms of like attacking these people. If you really want to just dig down and like attack their worldview. But yeah, I mean, if you want just like a ton of knowledge about them, then yeah, I mean, go to the source. You are correct to do that. I mean, it can't hurt, but yeah, no, good luck with that. I mean, you probably will lose your sanity because these people are crazy. I mean, if you just read like the more standard stuff, like you know, I don't really know exactly in what books Marx goes into his whole like dialectical materialism. I'm probably some communist manifesto, and Das Kapital is probably more labor theory of value and whatnot. But that's probably the stuff that would drive you insane. Once you get to like the labor theory of value, that's more just like standard commie crap. Where it's like, oh, yeah, labor theory, labor. It's like they're just obviously wrong. And it's but it won't like destroy your sanity. It's more just like, yeah, you guys are dumb. Yeah, it will hurt your mental. Def Definitely will do that though. I'm sure it wouldn't be a fun read. That would suck. It's yeah, but I guess the only way you can beat them is hear them make the strongest case for their system because I mean you can't really beat anyone on straw mans. You can't just make a straw man and then expect that to carry any work for you. So yeah, I mean good luck going through that. It's not gonna be fun. But I think if you do want to get like as much value as you can out of it, definitely go back and see where these people are getting these ideas from. Like, go back, learn what the fuck Hegel is talking about. Because, again, like, you can't understand Marx fully without Hegel. You can't understand Hegel fully without Kant. Can't understand Kant fully without Hume. You need to go back and understand these people, if you want to understand where they're really coming from. It's super easy to refute. It's not even worth it. I've heard some more neo-Marxists not really try to defend it that much anymore. Yeah, I think some of them are taking steps back from the dialectical materialism crap and just being like, "Oh yeah, we want free healthcare." But some of them do stand by it. Yeah, like some of them really do stand by like, "Oh, capitalism is just a stage in history, and this communism is inevitable. Communism is the synthesis, right?" Like, some of them do stand by that crap. Um, Definitely not many of them. I mean, but when you let it go, like when you just like let them slide by without really digging down, like it's almost like you're like cutting off like the top of the weeds, but like they're just gonna keep growing back, like we need to like I think we need to publicly oust them, almost like we essentially need to take them into the town square and just like read their shit to everyone, because everyone, this is what these people believe. These people believe this crap, and just fucking oust them. And make people understand how stupid they are, because I think that's the only way to really cut them down at their roots. I've watched Fabian Liberty debating commies. They really don't know how to play dumb. It's a waste of time to learn it. I mean, I don't know. I think it's fruitful to learn it. Um, I mean, it's obviously really incorrect. So if you're only worried about like, okay, what is the correct philosophy? I mean, obviously don't learn communism, but I think, like I said, like if we're gonna defeat our enemies, we need to understand where the fuck they're coming from? Like we're never gonna be able to defeat them unless we really you know, we really dig down and we really know where the hell they're getting these arguments from. Because I think if we don't, they're just gonna keep on like they're just gonna keep on springing back. Yeah, to defeat your enemy, you must know your enemy. But I mean, I do find it just comical how they try to defend the labor theory of value. I mean, it's insane. Like, I don't know how they just going through my head like how would you defend the labor theory of value? It's just so like obviously incorrect. Like I know that's not an argument, and I have a whole video giving arguments for why it is incorrect, but it's like it's just so obviously incorrect. It's like how do you even defend that? Like how do you convince yourself of that? Like to me, like from my perspective, convincing myself that the labor theory of value is true would be like would be like convincing myself that like 2 plus 2 is 5. Like I think it would be on the same level as like as that. It's like I genuinely think that's how challenging it would be to convince myself the labor theory of value is true. So it's like I don't know, man. It's so weird. Labor theory of value gets nuked by your Twitter likes. What is your Twitter account? Do you have a are you like ratioing labor theory of value people? I hope so. That's great stuff. I mean, if you're like ratioing commies and stuff like that, keep up the good work. Um, Again, like take them to the town square and oust them. Make everyone see how retarded they are. Make everyone just see how bad they are and evil they are and like all the horrible things they believe, and just take them out and like, everyone start fucking throwing tomatoes at them. I think that's great stuff. If that's what you're talking about, I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I think all of us do our fair share of like beating up commies and arguments and on Twitter, and it's great stuff. I mean, keep up the good work to anyone watching that does that. Keep up the good work. You're definitely doing God's work. Very good stuff. We all like that. Yeah, I do enjoy talking to the socialists a lot too, though, on Twitter. It's pretty fun. Oh, okay, you're Ouroboros, cool. Post some pole balls that don't get much likes. GigaChat LTV destroyed. Indeed, I saw you I think you like ratioed someone pretty well recently. I don't know what that was. Oh, something with like Jews. You got like a 38, like 40,000 likes or something. Like when you say Epstein class, so you can't say Jews. That was pretty funny. I'm not a Jewish conspiracy theory guy. That was funny though. Yeah, I know, good stuff. Keep up the good work, bro. Gotta destroy the commies as much as we possibly can. I mean, I think yeah, I've been going for almost 2 hours though. I wasn't actually intending on going for this long, but a bunch of people showed up. Had a lot of fun talking. I said this a couple times, but any last questions from anyone at all can be a question about anything or, comment or whatever. And I'm probably gonna sign off pretty soon. Um, AE, you got video game ideas. By ideas, do you mean like recommendations that I would play, or do you mean like ideas for games that I would create? Because yeah, I mean ideas for games I would create. I can just tell me which one of those you're asking for, maybe both, and I'll let you know. Yeah, that was pretty crazy, like 40,000. I recently where is this guy? Like, oh yeah, I completely ratioed this like communist talking about like supply and demand or whatever. Dude, it was like where is it? Um Oh yeah, it was like this random communist guy. He got like less than 200 likes on his thing, and I got 5.3K ratioing him. I mean, that was pretty hilarious. Um, create. Okay, video games ideas I would create. Well, okay, I'll give you like one. I would create a game. So I like hiking a lot. Like I'm not too much of a daredevil person, but I like going out and like climbing mountains and shit. And so I think I would make like a really realistic like hiking simulator where I could like go and like climb Mount Everest and like K2 and shit. Um, I think that would be really cool and like see all the pretty stuff and like hiking different trails. Because yeah, I don't have like infinite money, right? We probably all aren't like billionaires, so I can't like go and like go wherever I want. So I think virtually traveling would be pretty cool. But I also think I think another thing that would be cool would be like a capitalist simulator, like an ANCAP simulator where you're like a capitalist and you're like going through and like creating business ideas, and maybe there could be like an AI engine that would like assess your business ideas, and you could like go fucking be a capitalist or something, and like you would go in and create like product ideas and like stuff like that, and like I think that would be pretty damn cool. As from like an ANCAP perspective. So one like my personality perspective and one like ANCAP perspective. The best game would be a Witcher or even Red Dead style game where you can't violate the NAP. That would be cool. Like I really think like an ANCAP game would be really cool. Or like a private city game or something. I don't really know exactly what it would be. It'd be interesting. Do you guys violate the NAP in games? 'Cause this is a test of your character. No, it's not. It doesn't matter at all, obviously. Do you violate the NAP in games? I think that is a very important question. Like, do you hit people in GTA? How strong are your principles? But maybe I'll go to like 2 hours, like 3 more minutes. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't count as like creatures. I don't really know. Hard to say. Probably not actually. Like, you can't really have like a yeah. Okay, let's actually do this like philosophically speaking. Like, the NPCs are like deterministic. Like they have a like a trajectory that they're gonna just go down. So there's no like ethics with respect to an NPC, you know? Like they don't have free will, obviously. They're in a computer. So like I don't really know. Maybe it isn't violating the NAP because it's like it would be like you can't violate the NAP with a rock, right? Like so yeah, probably it probably wouldn't count. Interesting stuff though. No, they're not. No, 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 of course not. Stuff you play doesn't have people who have stuff for you to violate the NAP. What games do you play that doesn't have anything to violate the NAP? That seems like a pretty tall order for a game. It's all Virgin Lands. Are you playing like Farming Simulator or something? That'd be interesting. I could actually get down with some Farming Simulator. I play a lot of hunting games, and so I can't violate the NAP in my games actually, because I shoot animals, and it's like they don't have rights, so I can go do that. So I guess I just answered my own question because I asked what games can you not violate the NAP in? My hunting game, I can't. So you play a homesteading game though. It's interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. It's homesteading simulator. Game like Rust would have the NAP apply. Yeah, I think for the NAP to apply, like in a video game, like even if we were like obviously setting aside the fact that you're not actually killing someone, like it would have to be multiplayer, right? Because like the players are not deterministic, right? Like the people, the other shooter people, they're not like they can do what they want. They have free will. So you can actually get into a conflict, like even in the game, like with these people, but not with the video game NPCs. I wonder, it would be interesting to see like an ethical Rust playthrough. Like, because you would be able to kill people. Like, people are pointing guns at you all the time in Rust. So you would be able to like use self-defense. But I wonder like how far you could get in the game if you like only used self-defense and like only like homesteaded land and stuff. Like that would be interesting. I mean, someone could probably do it if they were really good at the game, but that'd be challenging. That's interesting though. I didn't think of it like multiplayer games. Um, Specifically like you would have NAP violations, like not like literally speaking, but like in the game. Rust where you could establish a Hoppian Covenant community. Yeah, that would be cool, right? Like ANCAP Private City Simulator, Hoppa Simulator or some shit, where you just go in and like establish private city stuff. Mostly like hella on Minecraft mods, like Terraform, Greg. Several hundred hours ago from Stone Age to end tier were the barely even natives. Fair enough. I've never played mods on Minecraft. I do like Minecraft a bit. It's pretty cool game. I've never figured out how to download mods. Never gone through the effort, but it does look like a lot of fun. I would like that. So sounds pretty cool. Well, it is I'm at the 2 hour and 1 minute mark, so I'm gonna hop off, guys. But thank you for hanging out. I had a lot of fun, and I guess we're setting in that stream. As far as I know right now, 8 o'clock tomorrow. So yeah, anyone who violates the community contract gets the helicopter. It's very good stuff. Um, yeah, as far as I know, I'll tune in tomorrow, and we'll have a big socialist debunking stream. I don't know how long that's gonna go for. Maybe it'll go for like fucking 6 hours. Maybe it'll go for like 2 hours. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes to. We'll see how much content this guy's arguments have. Maybe it won't have any. But anyways, good night, everyone. It's pretty fucking late for me. See ya.